Hey, y'all, come look at this.
He said that he and Barron called Andrew together and discussed the Tate's case.
For a while, the assumption inside Andrew Tate's world was simple. Donald Trump is back in office, the brothers backed him hard, and that loyalty would eventually get repaid. Guys, Andrew and Tristan Tate are currently fighting extradition to the UK on close to 60 charges, including rape, sex trafficking, and offences tied to child exploitation material, after their arrest in Miami. By their own logic, with Trump in the White House, things were only supposed to get easier from here. Instead, it's backfiring in a pretty spectacular way.
Donald Trump, you fucking owe Andrew Tate and Tristan. You owe them. I'm just gonna fucking straight out say it.
That backfiring starts with Congress. Arizona Representative Yasamin Ansari is the one applying the most public pressure right now. She's formally asked the House Oversight Committee to dig into how the Tate case has been handled, and she's specifically demanding that Barron Trump testify. When people push back on that, her response online was blunt, something close to "say what you want, investigate Barron," which raises the actual question here. Why would the president's own son even come up in a criminal extradition case? And did his personal relationship with the Tate brothers ever cross into something more than just fandom?
Waller told me that Barron admired the Tates, and he said that he and Barron called Andrew together and discussed the Tate's case. When we reached out for comment, McBride called our reporting on the relationship between Andrew and Barron fake news.
For months, the working theory in Tate world was that all that election support would get repaid with protection. Guys, that's not how it's gone. The White House itself has now confirmed through Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt that Trump will not step in to stop the UK extradition.
Danny.
Thanks, Caroline. Is President Trump or the administration, do they have any plans to intervene in the extradition process for the Tate brothers?
No, we've already answered that question.
Carefully constructed narratives from George Soros-funded operations trying to destroy the reputations of good people who have no intention to do anything other than follow the law.
Andrew, what about President Trump?
Will you return to Romania?
What about President
Did Donald Trump help?
Even with that official answer on the record, people close to Tate are apparently still working the angle privately, leaning on Trump directly, and arguing that he owes Andrew Tate for everything the brothers did to help get him elected.
Donald Trump, you fucking owe Andrew Tate and Tristan. You owe them. I'm just gonna fucking straight out say it. Other people might not want to, hear that or say it or, oh, I'll lose opportunities. Oh no, Mega's gonna get mad at me. You would be in prison had it not been for these guys. As a matter of fact, to make things even crazier, he'd probably be at FDC just like Andrew and Tristan are. He would have been the one at FDC. So I think it's time for the Trump administration to burn a favor for the guy that moved a bunch of people to vote for you. So it's irrefutable that guys like him and me are a big reason that Donald Trump is in office now. Barron, you seeing this? I think it's time to pull Pops to the side. And fight this fucking extradition bullshit.
Here's what's actually confusing people though. Go back through the timeline and there's a strange gap that doesn't add up on its own. Tate was under house arrest in Romania facing serious charges, and then, seemingly out of nowhere, he was cleared to travel to the United States. Reporting since then has pointed to a Trump administration official pushing Romanian authorities behind the scenes to ease those restrictions. That's not exactly the kind of thing that happens for no reason.
We asked McBride, their lawyer, whether the Trump administration had anything to do with their release. And he didn't answer the question directly, but he said, quote, "Do the math. These guys are on the plane." Once they're back in the United States, the Tates are filming themselves partying in Miami, looking at apartments in New York, hobnobbing with Kanye West in Los Angeles. But they weren't welcomed by all. There were some conservatives who spoke out against them upon their arrival. Some said that they undermined traditional conservative values. Other people likened the allegations against them to the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. Through all of this, it's becoming clear that there is a rift on the right.
And that's before you even get to the election math. It wasn't just Tate showing up to back Trump publicly. Kamala Harris herself later wrote that the manosphere's support for Trump, Tate included, was a real factor in why she thinks she lost. On top of that, back when Trump was dealing with his own legal troubles, Tate was one of the loudest voices defending him night after night on stream.
Call Trump and put this fucking spaces on.
Yo, Big D, what's the hold up? Oh, Matrix attack. Gotcha, bro.
Been there.
All right, safe. Safe.
Oh, just gotta wait, I guess.
Yeah, Matrix attack. I'm going to sleep. Good night.
How important is this election in 2024?
It's monumental. It's the fate of the world. The fate of the world is at stake.
And I think if the election is fair and free, then it's a done deal. The key word is if. I'm praying that it happens.
Do you think that Trump is also being, pursued by the Matrix?
Do I think? Sir, I know. Everyone knows. The charges against him are complete garbage. The cases against him are complete garbage. And they're doing it to try and stop him getting in power because they don't want him to be president, because they'd rather have a president who doesn't know what's going on so they can just tell his advisor, here's X amount of million, pass this law. That's what they want. The shadow figures want to control the world, and they don't want to have an employee, which is what they'd see him as, who's belligerent. They don't want to have somebody in charge who you can't buy or bribe or blackmail or scare. Trump is going to sit there and say, I have enough money, I'm too old to want more, and I care about my country, I'm going to do what's right for the country. I'm not going to do what's right for you, the big interests and the big money and the globalists. And that's why they're trying to take him down. It's absolutely and utterly, completely a Matrix attack. And when I say it's important for the culture, because it is, because Trump is a masculine man in a world where being masculine is instantly bad for some reason. And it will be massively important for the culture, just as I've been a cultural icon. So is he. And so will he help push the culture in the positive direction of healthy masculinity. So it's extremely important for the culture.
It's about the culture. It's about people believing in America again. People saying USA, USA, USA. It's the culture that we need back.
Add it up, guys. Tate pushed that support hard, and those clips racked up hundreds of millions of views, getting reshared everywhere. None of this is really a coincidence, but right now, Trump himself is taking heat over his own Epstein-related ties, and critics are drawing a direct line from that to Tate, calling him a discount version of the same problem, someone who's allegedly been shielded by the same kind of powerful friends, and who, in their view, deserves the same level of scrutiny. Considering Tate is facing trafficking charges, sexual exploitation charges, and charges tied to child abuse imagery, it's easy to see why people who believe he's guilty are drawing that comparison.
It seems like the Trump family is just so inseparable from this Andrew and Tristan Tate story. Melania Trump's presser a few months back saying that she was not a participant of the Epstein stuff was almost certainly driven by Amanda Ungaro. Amanda Ungaro was an Epstein victim who had a child with Paolo Zampoli, who brought Melania to the US. Andrew and Tristan Tate spent the days before their arrest in Miami partying in Washington, D.C. as guests of Paolo Zampoli, Donald Trump's US Special Envoy for Global Partnerships and a longtime friend of Trump and Melania. It goes even beyond that. There was a very warm, friendly, weird interview between Andrew Tate and the very same Paolo Zampoli earlier this year. They're very friendly throughout it. They're sitting there mucking it up. They're like very close friends. And this is where we reintroduce Amanda Ungaro. She is claiming that her ex-husband is entirely lying about the Melania Trump introduction.
Let's tell the public you never was the one introducing Melania to Trump. It was Jeffrey Epstein. She was a escort of Jeffrey Epstein.
Melania Trump then comes out and decides to make a statement.
I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims.
There is a very weird connective tissue here between the way the Trump admin is constantly morally laundering the reputation of the most vile figures, people like Paul Ingrassia, people like Jeffrey Epstein, people like Zampoli, people like Trump himself, people like the Tate brothers, who were quite literally arrested in Miami and would have been arrested sooner if the Trump admin hadn't stopped and stifled investigations. And finally, on top of all of this, Melania Trump.
That congressional pressure is now formal, not just talk. Ansari has sent an actual letter to House Oversight Chairman James Comer asking him to investigate what she calls potential political interference and improper conduct in how this case has been handled. Part of what's driving it, guys, is that photo from the Tates' visit to Washington. The brothers posing in Republican Congressman Wesley Hunt's own office, taken just days before their arrest. Ansari's letter goes further, asking whether contact between the Tate brothers, White House advisors, and the First Family shaped any decisions on prosecution or extradition, and she wants State Department and DOJ records, White House visitor logs, and direct answers from Barron Trump about what he knew. There's also that earlier New York Times report claiming Andrew Tate and Barron spoke over Zoom back in 2024, something Tate's team has flatly denied as fake news. Her stance either way, guys, nobody is above the law here, no matter their money or their connections. The Tate side isn't staying quiet either. Their lawyer has spent the past several days painting the entire case as political persecution, throwing around comparisons to communism, calling the brothers political prisoners held in solitary, and branding the UK government despotic for pursuing them. And once this case actually reaches British courts, he likely won't be the one arguing it. He'll need to hand things off to a UK lawyer just as willing to insist they're innocent.
Influence there, they began to realize that there was a responsibility that came with that influence, and they began to sharpen their minds and sharpen their message and geared it toward positivity and strength for young men. And that's what really pissed the government off. It wasn't like, oh, you were saying this stuff before, we were mad. They weren't coming for them then. They came for them as soon as they started saying a man is a man, is a woman is a woman, be strong, do this, be traditional, blah, 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 blah. Then the government came from them. You can say a lot of the wild stuff. The government will never come for you. You start preaching traditional values and masculine excellence, and they come for your head.
Double-edged sword for the government. It's made them bigger.
Way bigger.
Yeah. And so if whatever it is they're doing, and I'll state it this way. If these criminal charges end up fizzling out and dissolving, these guys are going to be wealthier and more powerful than they ever were before.
100%. And another thing to do is to pay attention to the Florida case that we're litigating, right? Because we're litigating the same set of facts under different laws. It's the same set of facts in the American legal system.
That British lawyer already has a head start, though. The attorney representing the UK victims has been building this case for years, long before any of this political noise started, and Tate's team is going to need every advantage they can find once they're actually standing in a UK courtroom. There's still chatter about whether Trump could somehow intervene at the last second, but here's what the lawyer prosecuting Tate on these nearly 60 charges had to say about it.
You've got the Tate brothers' lawyer, Joseph McBride, who we heard earlier. He says the Tate brothers are American citizens who deserve full American constitutional protections. There should be no extradition of American citizens when the charges are unclear and political. What do you say to that?
Well, there's quite a bit to unpack there. I mean, firstly, yes, they're American citizens, but they're also British citizens.
They both had dual citizenship.
They're dual nationals.
Yeah.
Correct. The alleged victims are British. The alleged crimes were committed on British soil. So the UK courts have got jurisdiction. There's no argument about that at all. As to Mr. McBride's statements that this is some sort of political persecution, well, you can go ahead and say it's political persecution, but it doesn't make it so. On what basis is he saying that? He's offered no explanation as to why this is a political persecution.
So keep an eye on this channel, guys, because tomorrow is a genuinely big day. The court is set to move forward on deciding what actually happens to the Tate brothers next. Things could get delayed, sure, but everything points to this moving fast, and an extradition back to the UK looks increasingly likely. Once that happens, this gets even messier. Realistically, they're looking at spending real time behind bars, because bail in the UK on these charges seems extremely unlikely.
And now that we see our institutions are completely corrupted by billionaire pedophiles, to address what you said about Trump, I agree with you. I'm a Navy SEAL in this come get me, raid my house, take my stuff. You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think I'm dumb? Come get me, arrest me.
Andrew Tate spent months daring the UK to come and arrest him. But when they actually did it, he didn't seem too happy. First, he was mocking Interpol warrants on social media. Then he was publicly insulting the UK Prime Minister by name. And he was telling reporters he wasn't afraid of a UK judge, a UK lawyer, or anyone else. And every single one of those moments happened because he genuinely believed he was untouchable. So let's go through exactly why he thought that, and exactly where that confidence actually came from. Tate's taunting wasn't abstract or anonymous. He went after Keir Starmer directly, by name, on camera, mocking the same Interpol warrants that were about to catch up with him.
It used to be a country. Now it's charged by Keir Starmer, some fucking wanker who keeps issuing Interpol warrants for me. We need to get Andrew Tate, Interpol. Bro, just fucking chill out. Chill out. I'm in Beverly Hills. Come get me. I'm not hard to find. I post my location on Twitter and I'm 6'3", walking around Beverly Hills with a crowd of adoring fans. Come get me.
Publicly posting your own location while daring a government to come get you is what someone does when they genuinely don't think the consequences are real. And that confidence had a specific source. Tate believed, correctly or not, that he had Trump's personal backing.
Was there any help from Trump's camp to help you get here? Was there any influence there?
I have no idea.
Okay, so you don't know. Okay.
I mean, I would like to think.
Even when directly asked on camera whether Trump's team actually helped, Tate couldn't give a straight answer beyond, "I would like to think." Which doesn't exactly sound like confidence that's built on any facts. And right up until the arrest, both brothers kept playing into that same fake confidence in public.
But I'm very proud to be an American, and I'm very happy to be here in Washington, D.C. Hasn't it improved so much?
It has. Oh, since President Trump cleaned up the place. Has it improved? That's the question. Since you've been here last.
Well, I was last here about 7, maybe 8 years ago.
Being proud to be American while actively facing extradition on serious charges is a strange kind of confidence to broadcast, and it turned out to be badly misplaced. Because when reporters actually asked Trump directly whether his administration pressured Romania to release the brothers in the first place, his answer wasn't exactly what Tate's team was hoping for.
President Trump, Andrew and Tristan Tate landed in Florida today on a private jet after being released from custody in Romania. They are accused rapists, human traffickers, not thought of as good people in many circles. Did your administration pressure the Romanian government to release them, and if so, why?
I know nothing about that. I don't know. You're saying he's on a plane right now?
He's back. They already been.
Yeah, I just know nothing about it. We'll check it out. We'll let you know.
I do. Look, obviously this involves, there's an English element here, so obviously it's important that justice is done, and human trafficking is obviously, to my mind, a security risk, and so we'll catch up with the story in due course.
Trump saying he knows nothing about it denies his personal involvement, not that anything happened at all. A distinction that matters even more once you factor in the reporting that complicates things further. A New York Times investigation later found that Trump's special envoy, Richard Grenell, had at least 2 separate conversations with Romanian officials about the Tate's case, and that within days of the second one, an order came down from the highest levels of the Romanian government instructing prosecutors to compromise on the travel ban. Romanian officials have denied being pressured. The Financial Times reported something similar independently. Tate's own team has floated a quieter version of that same theory.
Perspective. I'd like to be optimistic and believe that Donald Trump saw this garbage and maybe asked some questions. I like that idea, but I don't know. I had no confirmation. I have no idea. I don't know why. However, as a professional,
even Tate himself, when pushed on this, couldn't commit to a real answer. And all he really said was, "I'd like to be optimistic," followed by, "I have no idea." For a guy who spent months acting untouchable, that's a remarkably shaky foundation. And instead of dialing back the confidence once the extradition became real, he leaned further into it.
I'm right here in Miami. I'm right here in Miami. Come get me. Arrest me. Perp walk me. Put me on the news. Tell everyone I'm a human trafficker. You think I'm not versed? You think I'm not ready? I'm a Navy SEAL in this shit. Come get me. Raid my house. Take my stuff. You think I sleep with a full phone full of evidence? You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think I'm dumb? Come get me, arrest me.
Breaking, Andrew and Tristan Tate have been arrested in Miami.
Announcing exactly where you are and inviting a raid is either supreme confidence or a serious miscalculation, and it turned out to be the second one. Tristan was doing the same thing in his own interviews around the same time, describing a warm welcome from law enforcement that suggested neither of them saw an arrest coming at all.
And I'm back this time and I'm like, wow, how has he done so much with this city in such a short period of time?
Crazy.
And the National Guard and the Capitol Police are very happy to see me and my brother. We've always backed the Blues, so we're shaking a lot of hands and taking a lot of pictures with those guys, and they're doing a fantastic job.
I know, it does look really good here. And the Trump administration in general, sort of how does, I guess, the UK view President Trump? Like, what's the word on the street over there? And what are your thoughts about the administration so far?
I think a lot of people in the world, there are 2 types of people in the world. There are the people who believe in what the mainstream media says, and there are people who don't believe in what the mainstream media says. And the mainstream media, I mean the big media channels owned by like the George Soroses of the world. And I think the people who really believe in this mainstream media, the fake news as President Trump calls it, they have a bad opinion of the president and what he's doing here in the United States. But everybody with their brain switched on seems to love him. In Romania, everybody talks very highly of our Vice President, J.D. Vance. They speak very highly of him because he was the only American to highlight a lot of problems that are actually affecting their country. And with politics, let's not pretend that there's ever such thing as a perfect politician. But what you have to do is you have to look at the overall job that your politician is doing. You have to understand that you are not in their position. You have to understand that they know more than you do about the situations you want to comment on, and you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. I personally am very happy with what the administration has done and accomplished so far, and I just think things would have been a hell of a lot worse had the other team won. So I'm very happy, and I will always back President Donald Trump. I have since 2015.
Getting handshakes and photos from the same law enforcement system that's about to help extradite you is either irony or a genuine misunderstanding of the situation. And either way, it didn't age well. Some of that confidence came from genuine social proof too, because Tate wasn't just claiming Trump world connections, he was appearing alongside them.
And I'm very close to the Trump family. I know them well, and I spoke to Barron after the incident, and I look forward to, once I am free, being with Donald Trump in person and reminding him that he's a bulletproof badass.
This is the attorney for President Trump, somebody who has been a fighter for the America First Party. Her name is Alina Habba, and she joins us live right now.
Hey.
Hello, Alina.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan.
Well, nice
big
to meet
fan.
you.
Sharing a stage with people close to the administration is exactly the kind of thing that would make someone feel protected, whether or not it actually means anything legally. But that same closeness to Trump's world runs into one hard limit. There's exactly one topic Trump treats as untouchable, and reporters know it.
Sir, is there nothing incriminating in the file, Venezuela, sir?
Trump doesn't like that question, and reporters have learned to expect a short answer whenever they ask it. But Tate, of all people, has actually said the opposite of what you'd expect on this exact subject.
And myself, I'm in a lot of trouble with many charges from the British government for my speech, saying the things I say are completely unacceptable. But primarily, my message is challenging the blanket authority and the blanket narratives which are pushed by our institutions. And now that we see our institutions are completely corrupted by billionaire pedophiles, now we see our institutions have been completely overrun and they're operating in secret rooms and subverting the rule of law. I think that makes it even more important that people like myself continue to challenge authority and demand answers and demand transparency and not believe official narratives. This is just the tip of the iceberg. What we know is going to be a fraction of what actually took place. And if I find it absolutely disgusting, and I don't want to make this about me, that they've managed to do so much damage to my brother and I with no evidence, while sitting on such a huge pile of evidence for some of the most important people on the planet. To address what you said about Trump, I agree with you. But I think Trump would have been under huge pressure from some of the most important people in administrations all around the world to release nothing at all. And the fact that he continued to try and be transparent and allow people at home to understand how this world really works, I have to give him credit for, because a lot of people would have been in Trump's ear saying, don't release anything. And yes, he's a maverick, as is Elon. And if our democracies are going to survive in the coming decade with all of the problems that exist in our societies, transparency is the most important thing we can push for.
Saying the guy you're counting on for protection should also be investigated is a strange strategy if the goal is staying in his good graces. And that same web of associations runs somewhere else entirely. A separate, genuinely disputed controversy that's become tangled up with this story through one shared name.
Does anybody know where Andrew and Tristan Tate spent the days before their arrest in Miami? Because if you don't, allow me to fill you in, because you literally can't make this shit up. This is Paolo Zampoli, Donald Trump's U.S. Special Envoy for Global Partnerships, right? Also a longtime friend of Donald Trump and Melania. Paolo Zampoli is the former modeling executive who said that he actually brought Melania to the United States and, of course, introduced her to Donald Trump. There's a lot more about this man that'll really have you thinking, but I can't help but wonder why the Tate brothers, just days before their arrest, were partying in Washington, D.C. as guests of Paolo Zampoli, especially considering the new allegations against them.
Here's what's actually solid there and what isn't. The Tate brothers reportedly did spend time in Washington as guests of Paolo Zampoli, who is a longtime Trump associate now serving as a special envoy. Separately, Melania Trump has publicly and directly denied any relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, including denying that Epstein introduced her to her husband. Zampoli has long claimed credit for that introduction himself, and other reporting has surfaced conflicting accounts disputing his version, which is a real, unresolved controversy, but it's a completely separate one from the Tate brothers' actual charges. And an overlapping social circle isn't evidence of anything about their case specifically. Back on the legal reality, there's one thing Tate's confidence never fully accounted for.
You didn't know. UK's Crown Prosecution Service, like it says here, said that it is bringing additional charges of rape against Andrew and Tristan under ongoing cases against the brothers in that nation. The agency said that the brothers are awaiting extradition to the UK. And if you didn't know, Andrew Tate faces 7 additional counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and 19 additional charges relating to illegal you-know-what. Tristan Tate faces 1 count of sexual assault, 2 counts of rape, and 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation. New charges relate to 4 additional alleged victims. Previous charges were connected to 3 alleged victims. The case against Tristan previously included 3 counts of rape, 6 counts of actual bodily harm, and 2 counts of human trafficking. Which makes me wonder, if these motherfuckers can be arrested, then why can't the rest of the individuals on that list and in those files be arrested as well? Something about this shit just is not adding up. Not that I don't see this as an obvious celebration.
A US presidential pardon only applies to US federal crimes, not offenses committed overseas. So no matter how close Tate actually is to Trump, a pardon was never on the table to begin with. The charges themselves are severe enough that political favor trading was always going to be a long shot anyway, because there's dozens of new counts covering rape, trafficking, and assault on top of what both brothers already faced.
Let me clear up this news you're seeing on the timeline. The British state has accused me of a crime. They said 15 years ago I did something I wasn't supposed to do and I'm a criminal.
Holding dual citizenship doesn't give you a way out here. It just adds another court date to the calendar. And Tristan, for his part, has responded to all of this by threatening to go on offense instead.
There is going to be a massive lawsuit at the end of this year. There is going to be a massive civil lawsuit at the end of this year in an American court where I, Tristan Tate, am no longer a defendant for doing something wrong. I'm the plaintiff. And some of the people who helped do this to me will be the defendants. I've been working on it for many, many long months now. I've been mentally preparing for it for many years. And I can't say too much about it. But I can tell all of you to keep your eyes and ears very wide open to any litigations I'm involved in, because there will come a time very soon when the stand is going to be packed full of people who helped do this to me. And I will be standing there as the plaintiff in total freedom.
Promising a lawsuit you've been mentally preparing for years is a bold claim to make, while you're the one currently facing extradition. It's also not his first swing at the legal system recently, and the last one didn't go well.
Not only that, but it turns out, now that this is all said and done, a bunch of whistleblowers are anonymously coming forward and putting the picture together of exactly what happened to me. And I'm going to say a name at the end of this sentence, just so my enemies know that I'm on the right track. You know, you can enact injustices upon a man as much as you like, but it's going to hurt your soul if you are a good person. And there are some good people out there, it seems, because I've been sitting here for years in these emergency meetings I referenced earlier, screaming about how unjust it is and how it's definitely a conspiracy and I don't know exactly who's behind it, but there must be some, the NGOs and the British government are working together to try and get me off the internet and to silence me and to put me in jail. It turns out, after all these years, now that the content of my character has become more clear to people, and people have opened their eyes as to what's actually happened to me and what I really did wrong, which it turns out legally, as of right now, is absolutely nothing, as I still have a clean criminal record and always will have. But whistleblowers are coming forward. People from within the ranks of the enemy are coming forward and telling me who has done this to me and who's really behind it. And I would just like the Center for Countering Digital Hate to know, the CCDH to know, that I see all the trails that lead back to you. And a full investigation is going on to uncover exactly what it is that you guys did. So there's a slight name drop for you all. And then again, there will be legal cases, court cases, in which I am the defendant, once I zero in on absolutely everybody else who took part in this. But my legal problems aside, it's genuinely not that interesting anymore. Who cares? I'm in freedom. Just got back from New York. Just got back from Dubai. I was in Beverly Hills before that. Do I really give a shit?
Just months before any of this, a federal judge dismissed the brothers' $50 million lawsuit against Meta over their 2022 platform ban, ruling that Meta was legally protected and couldn't be sued for the removal. That's not a great track record heading into a much bigger fight, and when actual charges did land, Tate's public response didn't soften one bit. If anything, he doubled all the way down.
My message to the UK government is I'm not afraid of you. And I'm not afraid of the UK lawyers. I'm not afraid of the UK judge. I'm not afraid of any of it because I've done nothing wrong. And everybody knows I've done nothing wrong. And putting me in jail doesn't prove I've done anything wrong. And satisfying a few internet masturbating leftist haters doesn't prove I've done anything wrong. I know I've done nothing wrong. God knows I've done nothing wrong. So if I get free from here to avoid the Wizz Air flight, which would actually bother me, unlike jail, I will take my own private jet and I will fly directly into London. I'll walk into Scotland Yard and say, hello, motherfuckers, charge me.
or get fucked. Because I'm not living with this shit over my head for the rest of my life. And I'm not afraid of any of them. If you want to charge me, charge me. I'll see you in court. And if you want to put me in jail, that's fine. Because I know I've done nothing wrong, and every free-thinking person on the planet knows I've done nothing wrong. So I'm really not afraid of these people. So I would go straight to England to squash that. And when all of that's done, I'm going to move back to the greatest country on earth, USA, because the USA is finally back after 4 long years, in fact, maybe a little bit longer, it felt like, of hell, where America was living under absolute tyranny.
Going from months of taunting straight into charge me then, the moment it actually happens, is at least consistent. Whether it's smart is a different question entirely. He extended that same defiance to the people closer to home too, demanding an apology from Florida's governor and calling out the congressman who'd publicly backed the investigation into him.
I don't care. I'm an American, and I don't owe him shit. And when DeSantis stands up and apologizes to me, when the AG apologizes to me, I'll consider it. And Byron Donalds is a punk too, because he sold out and went on the news and started talking shit, calling me a human trafficker. I've never been convicted. The point of America in general, the point of democracy is innocent until proven guilty. If they get quizzed about me, if they stand up on the news and they say, what do you think of Andrew Tate? They have a very easy answer. We live in a democracy. It's innocent until proven guilty. I don't know the specifics of his case. What I know is he is not convicted. They don't have to sell out like punks. They don't have to start saying I'm not welcome here. If the senator or the governor tells me I'm not welcome here, you know what? Then fucking keep it. I'm not a beg. I'm not desperate. And I don't give a shit if Ron DeSantis likes how I live or not. To be honest, I don't care. I'm an American citizen. I came here. I've been convicted of no crimes. And for the same reason you won't live in Cali or Mamdami's New York, I can't live here until these clowns apologize to me.
Demanding an apology from state officials while you're fighting federal extradition on dozens of charges is a genuinely striking level of confidence to still be carrying. The argument now, from Tate and from his supporters, is that all of this is just old clips being repurposed as a gotcha, which are the same clips they say didn't work in Romania. So here's the real question. If old clips and public taunting weren't enough to sink him in Romania, is the UK case built on something genuinely stronger this time, or is everyone about to relearn the same lesson? That outrage online and an actual conviction in court are two completely different things? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, smack the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you in the next one.